'Cause Christ laid down his life for me. Christ paid brand new life for me. He already did it once for me. No need to do it twice for me. Enemy won my life. Enemy won my soul. Enemy can't stay here. Enemy, you must go. 'Cause Christ laid down his life for me. Christ paid brand new life for me. He already did it once for me. No need to do it twice for me. Enemy, you must go. Enemy, you must leave. In the name of Jesus. Enemy, you must leave. 'Cause enemy won my life. Enemy won my soul.
Hey Didi, welcome in. Good morning, guys. Dottie, welcome in. What's going on, sis? I'm always up this early. I'll be live. I usually go live from 8:15 to 9:30, and then I go to work. Yeah, I'm usually up for this early all the time. I do music in the morning, and then I go live on Saturdays after. Yeah, so every morning, Monday through Friday. Yeah, always. But I like to be able to give people a start in their day, and there's no better start than music. So, gotta have music in your life. Gotta have music in your life. If you're not listening to music, there's a problem. Start provoking. Yeah, you gotta have a start with music. Don't ain't nobody have anything different, because music is everything. It's healing. It's relaxing. There's a lot of properties in music that just plays a major role in life, and most people ignore it. But there's also the music that you listen to too. You gotta be mindful of the stuff that you listen to. You gotta be mindful of the things that you listen to, the things that you put within your brain. Like me right now, I don't listen to anything that's not Christian-based rap. I listen to R&B, right? R&B is cool, but I don't listen to rap at all. Like the rap that we grew up listening to. I don't listen to none of that stuff no more. I listen to anything that's Christian-based. Morning, Huntress. What's going on, love? Welcome in. Welcome in. But this playlist I found, fire. Some really good music on this playlist. It really is. I got you. Watch this. I know. I'm just getting back. I took that whole month of December off. You know what I'm saying? I took December off. I'm back at it. Little by little. I'm getting there. Mind you. So this playlist is kind of mixed with rap, R&B, soca, and Afrobeat. It's a mixture. It's fucking fire. I love it. All of it. I do. Come up. If you want to come up, Send a request.
All right, hold on real quick. I'm gonna show it to you, and I'll get right back down.
Okay, hold on. Hey, let's go.
I'm starting my motivational journey.
I'm proud of you. Proud of you. You're awesome.
It's all
I'm so.
because of you guys, you, Amiga, everybody.
Listen, we're not gonna take all the credit from that. You did the work. You did the work. You know what I'm saying? We provided what we need to provide, but you did the work. So ultimately, it's on you. So we're proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Keep it up. Keep it up. Nico, welcome in. Worthy, worthy, worthy. Hey, you did the work, man. Like people don't get it. When you put in the work, when you stay dedicated to what you're supposed to be doing for you, there's progress that comes out of that. There's things that come out of these things, man. You know what I'm saying? Like there's good things that come out of that, but you gotta put in the work. You have to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Once you put in the work, once you do what you need to do for you, and you realize that you're actually doing it in full capacity, you know what I'm saying? Damon in the building. Happy New Year. Everybody doing good. Everybody doing good. All good things. I promise you, all good things, guys. Like what I'm telling you, it's the corky. Shake it. Hey, shake it. Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you. All good things. I promise you, all good things. It's been it's been the last month or 2 months, I'll say. I think the only thing I've struggled with the last 2 months is this whole child support thing, right? No fault to my kid's mom at all because it was on me. Um, but they treated me like I was dirt. Like like I wasn't a human, I wasn't nothing, right? So that's the one thing I struggled with because I've never been spoken down to like that or treated like that before because I've never treated anybody like that before. So for them to do that to me because I won't pay the government their money. Not because I'm not taking care of my kids, because they chose to stop taking money out of my check for whatever reason, right? They're not taking money out of my check. So instead of giving them the money, I've been giving the money to my kid's mom because I know that's what I'm appointed to do by the court to give her child support, right? Even though I give it 10 times, probably like 5, 10 times more than what I usually give for child support, right? When we went to the court hearing in November, she even messaged me. She texted me. She was like, "Yo, why are they talking to you like that? Like, why are they treating you like that?" I was like, "I don't know." She's like, "Don't know what to tell you," but I don't know. I was like, "I know I do for my kids. You know we do. You know I do for our kids, and I'll never let them go without." So whatever whatever reason they have, they feel like they could treat me like that. Hey, more power to them. But I'm not gonna stop taking care of my kids, or I'm not giving the government their money, so they can go fuck off. Um, but I've been doing my job. That's all I know. I do my job as a father. I do my job as a parent. You know, I handle my business. But all good things, right? All good things. Overall, everything's been good. My relationship is amazing. My friendship with my kid's mom, my co-parenting situation is top tier. My kids are doing great. You know what I'm saying? Family's doing what family does. Brings you stress. Brings you their problems, but never realize you have problems of your own. Who deals with that? Who deals with that? You got family that brings you their problems. When it comes to your problems, they don't recognize them. Show of hands if you ever dealt with that. They want to bring you everything. Their problems, their friends' problems, their problems, but they never see your problems. They never see what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? They don't pay attention to anything you got going on. Your accomplishments, your struggles, none of that. They just focused on what they got going on. It's a little wild. Find that a little crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. Find it a little crazy. Yeah. And then when you start to give them advice, yeah, exactly. Man, listen. I'm just tired of giving advice at this point to the people that don't listen. Because who got time for that? Like, who really got time for that? Because I personally, listen, I don't mind giving advice, right? Because I do it daily. This is what I do. It's pretty much my job, right? I don't mind giving advice. I love giving advice for people that are willing to hear different perspectives, right? But when you're stuck in your own way, that's when shit gets difficult. Because I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. Frog Nation in the building. Tamika in the building. Because at that point, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. Thank you, heart me up, baby. What's going on, y'all? I feel like I'm talking to a fucking brick wall when I'm giving advice to people that don't know how to take structure or guidance. Good morning. Like, it's wild. Like, think about that for a second. We walk in, you like you know that your family's going through some things, right? They ask you for the advice. My question, right now, when people ask me for advice, is: are you asking me for me to help you or to validate your emotions? That's my question moving forward. Are you here for help and guidance, or are you here for me to validate your emotions? Because I'm not here to validate your emotions. I'll never be here to validate your emotions, especially if I know that you be doing some fuck shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just wild. I got a whole playlist of this song, man. I've been diving into my music bag lately. Earl Cherry in the building. Happy New Year, my brother. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in. She's doing good. She's laying in bed right now. She is laying in bed right now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, I got a question for you guys. Some thought provoking questions, some questions for you to think about, right? I mean, we both work from home, so we got the privilege of doing so. You gotta love that. She doesn't start till 9, probably. She doesn't start till 9, so she got time. Happy next year. So, thought provoking question. You ready for this one? What kind of impact do you want to leave behind, personally and professionally? If you have to think about all the things that you could offer the world, if you have the accolades, your skills, your talents, if you put that all combined into one, what kind of impact do you want to leave behind, personally and professionally? Before you answer that question, ask yourself this question: do you authentically know yourself? Before you answer that question, do you authentically know yourself personally and professionally? Because there's a difference. Just saying. I think it's a good question. It's an interesting question. Can you rephrase the question? So, when they say what kind of impact do you want to leave behind, like what staple, what type of staple do you want to leave to the world? Like, if there's something that you can leave the world, if you are leaving the world at this moment, I want to leave an impact. I just don't want to pay taxes. So, if there's something that you can really like leave the world, like if you like something so profound for you anyway, obviously, because everything is different. So for to answer the question, right? For me, the kind of impact I want to leave behind is to show people that everything that you really need to be the better version of you is within you. That's what I want to leave the world. You do not need external sources to make you be the better version of you. You can be the better version of you by truly believing in who you are. Sustainable, new, renewable energy. Fire. Fire. I like that. Yeah, the stamp that I want to leave behind is showing people that you yourself can be the better version of you just by solely being you. To show what a follower of Jesus looks like, lead with grace, compassion, and forgiveness. I love that. All Nation in the building. Welcome in. What's going on, y'all? Welcome in, guys. I asked that question, right? Because a lot of times we don't think about the important things in life, right? We don't think about the things that really put a stamp on this world, on this earth, right? Because let's think about this. We want coffee. I wish I had it. I definitely provide it for you guys. Take away all the material shit in life, right? The cars, the clothes, money, all that stuff, right? What do you have, right? Obviously, we have God. We have our faith. We have that. But outside of our faith, what do you have? What do you have? Outside of all of that, remove all the material things that we have in life. What do you have? And for the ladies, getting your nails done, getting all that stuff done, like get rid of all of that ourselves. Family, okay, love, okay. Now, hope, okay. Empress, welcome in. But do you really have those though? Do you appreciate those things? Right? If you had to, obviously, if you had to remove all the material things, obviously those are the things you would have to appreciate the most because there's nothing else left, right? So do you cherish those things now, even though you have those material things? Are those top priority for you outside of the material? Because for me it is, right? He's trying to come up. Oh, nation.
Outside of all those things, I'm going to answer your question real quick and I'll get off the box. But
Go for it.
outside of all those things, yes. And I still appreciate them because I've lost things so many times. Material possessions, I've
Yeah.
lost them time and time again. So where I had absolutely nothing. And at
Right.
this point in my life, I'm building back up from having nothing. So when you go down to having nothing, you're right. It makes you appreciate the smaller things so much more in life because
Never
we
welcome in.
focus on those things that we don't have, but we're never grateful for the things that we do have. So
I'm
that
glad
was
that you
my
said that.
lesson that I learned not having anything. So I'm appreciative for everything now, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense because the things that I noticed, right? And for me, because even being on this break that I was on, right? Just being able to just relax, not think about coaching, not think about none of that stuff. Obviously, I still had to work, but outside of that stuff, I was just like being able to just breathe, right? Because we do so much on a daily basis that we don't realize it. right? It made me just realize just being with my kids, being with Sweetie was enough.
Oh,
That's it. I didn't care about being on social media. I didn't care about being on, going live. I didn't care about none of that stuff. It was just spending time with them. You know what I'm saying? Spending time with her family was enough. And it was the littlest things too, like just sitting there just talking or, like it wasn't nothing crazy. Like we didn't go out to this fancy restaurant or we didn't do none of that stuff, right? It was just simply family time.
right.
We take that shit for granted.
A lot of people do.
Like we do. We take that shit for granted. And it'd be the simplest things, right? And the reason why I brought this question up is because I've I've been working on the back end with other people, like personal, working on their building their discipline, building their confidence up, and realizing and having them realize being empowered to be the better version of you is really the end all be all,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I asked them, I was like, if you can leave an impact to the world behind, what would it be? They couldn't answer the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said the reason why you can't answer the question because one, you don't have any core values, you don't know who you authentically are,
Mm.
right? And you don't appreciate things when you lose them,
Mm.
and that hit deep because it was like because then they had to think about these things.
Good morning, brother.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
bro. Welcome
Good
in.
morning, sis.
Good
Uh,
morning.
yeah, I'm trying something different this year. I'm listening and I'm trying not to judge. Uh, no, but other than this, what I will leave behind is an example of how to actually forgive, right? And
Hmm.
that's for my family, my biological family, right? Because I think going into 2025, people were so distant. You know, we have went through so much over the last 5 years
Hmm.
where we used to need, the whole house to do a family gathering, the house, the garage, or whatever. We all fit in the 2 rooms. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? It just dwindled to nothing, and it's time to get over smaller things so
Hmm.
we can appreciate those little things that we took for granted. You feel me?
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's the biggest issue that we've had, right? And we could say COVID played a role in it, right? We could say COVID played a role in it. COVID definitely made everybody a little bit more distant because of what was happening, right? But after COVID kind of cleaned up and kind of, you know, went its way, right? Nobody took the opportunity to really get back out there. They kind of stayed stagnant for the
Well,
most
yeah.
part.
I mean, COVID made us value our peace just that much more. Once you
Hmm.
had to sit with yourself, all the noise of outside and society went away. You know, you had to focus on your kids. You had to focus on your partner. You know,
Yeah.
you had to live with one another and not just exist like
Right.
we did post, pre-COVID.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it changed the narrative a little bit. Even when it comes to getting out the house and meeting new people. I mean, I get it. I still get anxiety going in big places. Like, nah, bro, I'm good.
And it's crazy too because I was a social butterfly before COVID happened. Like I was in the community. I was doing things. I was part of events. I was doing a lot of stuff. Right. COVID hit. It did make me appreciate my peace. It did make me appreciate the fact that I was doing too much. Put it
Mm.
that way. Because I was all over the place. I was doing everything. Right. So it made me appreciate my peace more. And after I did that, not last year or the year before that, it started to make me realize that I wasn't being authentically me because I am a social butterfly. So me being stagnant in who I am and not being out there and doing things and communicating with people and networking and doing these things, I don't feel like I'm me. Like that was my thing. Like I'm good at talking to people. I know I love talking to people. I love hearing people's story and learning things about people, but not doing it for so long, like I felt like I lost that part of me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning to get back to that part and actually having conversations with people and seeing people's perspectives and learning new things about people because that's the human experience.
Mm.
That's a part of the human experience. We if we ignore that part, Coco, good morning, then we're losing a lot. We're losing on a lot. We're missing out on a lot. There's too much information. There's too much things in the world to learn about and understand, and not having that experience of having a conversation with somebody and speaking to somebody and hearing the passion in their voice. You know what I'm saying? That was what really, like, really draw me in, was their passion and the things that they spoke about and the things that they loved. We lost that in a
Huh?
sense. TikTok did bring that back a little bit, right?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna act like
digitally though.
it definitely brought that back, right? Even though we're not in the same spaces, right? But we are here. Our voices are being heard, and obviously in spaces like mine's, I want everybody's voices to be heard without any disrespect, judgment, whatever the case may be. So that's why I try to get everybody up here, but some people just be doing too much.
Yeah,
So
they do. I know you ain't talking about me, homie.
you know what I'm saying? But no, I think it's important. I think it's important. I think knowing what you could leave behind for the world, right? If like knowing you as a person, your authentic you, right? With your talents, your skills, all of it, right? I think it's a good question to ask. What kind of impact do you want to leave behind on a personal level and a professional level? I think that's an important question.
It's a dangerous question because a lot of people aren't going to be able to answer it, or they're not going to answer it authentically.
They're
Let me
not.
get real with it. They're going to give you whatever answer they think you want to hear,
Mm-hmm.
or the answer that's going to make them look good. When the reality of it is, you don't know because you haven't looked at you at all. You're too busy putting up the social media facade instead of being real with who you are.
Mm.
That part.
That part.
Um, like we have an ongoing joke because those that know me and talk to me outside of this app, so them secret places that
BCC.
we all be hanging out at,
Right.
um, because different people have different access or different
Mm-hmm.
information to get to me. I'm the same person on this app, off this app. It doesn't matter. I can get a little rougher around the edges off
At
this
the
app.
app, right?
Yeah, I'm a little rougher around the edges.
Same.
Don't think I'm a
Same.
sweetheart.
Same. Same.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's that thing, and when people, we have to be real. And what COVID did was it brought you and made you sit your butt down.
Sure
And the
did.
problem is, nobody, while they were sitting down, majority of people did not exactly evaluate who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you were just like, oh, it's so horrible. I'm like them in the house. Shut up, sit down, get to know who you are, because half of y'all don't even like yourselves.
No, facts.
Or don't even know yourself.
No, at all, at
At
all.
all.
And then you sit there, well, this so and so said this about me, and Earl be making fun of me. First off, if y'all taking personal problems from Earl, that's a troll. It's just a troll with a big following. That's it. That's
Oh,
all
he's
Earl
a
is.
yellow. Okay, gotcha. Heard.
Yeah, he's
Listen.
just a darker version of yellow. That's it.
So
So
noted.
it's
Sorry,
crazy though,
Earl.
right?
It is
It's
what it
crazy
is.
though, because I've been telling people for months that people's opinion of you is none of your business.
Exactly. It's not.
Okay,
It's
But
so
see,
it's
wait, sis. That's why I started my live. You hear me? That's why I started my life because
right.
I get the tail end of listening to these women, or either just seeing these women do things that you clearly, if you pay attention to people, you know there's voids that they're trying to fill, or there's things that they're going through behind the scenes that they
hmm
can't get over their hurdles. Now, granted, like I said all the time, I'm not qualified in nothing but life. You hear me? Because I done lived one of them. It's
right.
44 years. And excuse my language because I don't know how y'all talk, but I'm a raw person. So
Go for it.
um, I lived a life. And not to mention, it may not hold no merit for nobody else, but I raised 6 kids by my damn self.
Respectfully.
About those six being men, and I raised men, and they say you can't raise a man as a woman. Well, I did. And I
Well, I
got
mean, you
two
part
damn
man
good
anyway,
ones.
so it don't count.
I got two good ones, you know? So
Yeah.
it's just I hear these women and they don't feel like they have the strength. But what they don't understand is if you have the strength to get up day by day and keep going, even with the pain and the hurt, there's your damn strength. Like, come on now, let me help point this out for you because I need you to get on a level where you're truly loving yourself authentically because when you love yourself authentically, it brings so much peace in your life.
And I this is the thing, right? And 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 hear me out when I say this. And for the people watching from the FYP, you can't say that you can't be there for somebody or be somebody's person if you're not focusing on you first. It's impossible. And it's gonna hurt. And it's gonna cause you more stress than good if you're not there for you first. When people say that I put my kids first, I put my wife first, I put my husband first. No. The first person that you need to put first is you. You need to put you first because those are the people that are gonna be looking forward. They need you, right? Like for example, for the wife, for the mom, your husband needs you, your kids need you, right? So how can you be there for them if you're not being there for you? Same
Because they
thing
don't
with
love themselves. Hold up. We keep telling everybody, be there for yourself. I don't like me. How am I going? Okay, y'all. First off, before anybody comes for me, FYP off, FYP, whatever you doing. If you hear this, I'm playing the bad child. Do not think I don't like me. I love me some me. So
right,
don't get twisted over here because you get your feelings hurt, especially if you make the mistake of sliding into the
No,
DM.
Kirby, I got a better example from you. You just dealt with this yesterday in live,
Right?
where things are being said to a particular person, and instead of them incorporating it into their own life and their own self, they're out preaching it to the next person, and
Right.
they haven't even got it yet.
right,
Right. Quit regurgitating what you hear and start applying it. And this is what
Happy next
happens
year.
because we
I
sit
got you.
here and I have a first thing in the morning live to get your mind right where I'm telling you love God so you can learn to love yourself. And then
Right.
if you go from my live into self love's live, I mean, yeah, I know his name says something else up there, but y'all gonna get over it. I'm not calling him that word. I said it twice today. That's all he gets.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, it hurt me too. Like I've got hives now. Um, but here's the deal. If you go from mine to his and you go from his to the next one, we can literally lead you in a whole day where you end up working on yourself from one level to the next level to the next level to the next level, and you might get
Absolutely.
it. Because here's the
Absolutely.
thing, I have to end my lives asking people, did you understand where I was coming from? Was I plain spoken enough? Because I'm talking to you about God, which is why Earl don't come in there. He's scared he might get baptized.
Wait,
I'm
wait.
playing, y'all. I'm playing. Uh,
She gonna get off my head in 2025, boy.
no, she's not. Uh, but this is the thing when you start realizing that, because see, if I love God and God teaches me how to love me, then whoever comes behind me, my children, I would say my spouse, but I ain't got one of those. That human that's supposed to be where the pillows are, my
Miss J,
family, my
welcome in.
sisters, it becomes different. But here's the thing: it also changes your mindset. Oh, wait a minute,
Hmm.
hold on, folks. Let's get to that one. If you start loving yourself, your brain works differently. That means when King of Self Love tells you, "Hey, look, we need to go look at this aspect of your life because you are messing yourself up." What you gonna do? You're gonna have to relook. And then when somebody comes at you and says, "What impact do you want to leave behind emotionally and professionally?" What's gonna happen? You're gonna have an
Jada,
answer because
appreciate
you're
you.
gonna be sitting there talking about some. I want to empower women. I want to empower all people. I want to impact people to believe in whatever it is that is your niche, whatever it is.
But what are you
And
doing for you?
right,
That's
what are you doing for you? What are you doing for those around you? All of
forget
that.
about the people around them. Let's not even
Man,
add them to the
if
equation,
we can
right?
get y'all working on you, we would be
Yeah,
excited. But
that
some of y'all, especially
that's the
people on the
thing.
way
That's
in,
the
have given
problem.
up.
This is the problem that we're having. Okay, this is the problem that we're having, and nobody's realizing it. A lot of people are doing too much for too many people at too many times in too many part of their lives, and they're not focusing on themselves.
Woo! Say
When
that
you
again.
when you sit there and tell people that you're tired, you're drained, you're exhausted, consistently. You're consistently telling people that you're exhausted, you're tired, you're drained. You're going to your corner crying. You're not feeling your best. You're not doing these things, but yet you're focusing on everybody else but yourself.
It's because
Like, in what world that we live in, right? Where
uh,
we sit there and we constantly drain ourselves, right? And then just to make it real for you guys, right? The people that you're helping and putting effort into and doing these things for, do they check on you?
yes, she calls me and yells at me at least twice a week. She's also on the bottom of
But this is for the
your
people.
lineup.
This is for the people that haven't done the work. You've done the work.
Oh, well, the people that haven't done the work, see, that's why we have a book that's supposed to be coming out that's called a journal that's going to help them do that, and we're going to push it out to God and everybody. Y'all mamas are going to need one. Um, and this is why we are sitting here and we're telling people, hey, go to this live over here. Oh, yeah, they're God based, but they're not, it's not going to be a church live. It's going to be a self help live. You need to work on you. Because here's the thing. Then we got people walking around talking about something. I don't need to. God's working on me. Girl, shut up. Boys, shut up. Tree turtle, French fry. Whatever you claim to
There's
be,
not
that
a
food.
there's not a space in the Bible. There's not a scripture or a space in the Bible that told you that you didn't have to work on you.
Absolutely. You
And
If
have to.
if you really think about it, most scriptures in the Bible tell you that you have to work on you. Like
yeah,
They
what?
do, because here's the
they
thing.
do.
To be Christ
Like you
like,
know what I'm saying? Like,
to be Christ like, you have to be like Christ. How do you be like Christ? You got to learn how to love.
Look, I
You
was
got to learn how to
scaring
give
her
grace.
comment. I had to forget I was not a mod in here. I was scaring her comment. Faith without works is
Works
still
is no
alive.
longer here. It is asleep. It is
Exactly.
no longer asleep. It's
Exactly.
listen,
done. We're over. You got to step up and square up. And this is the problem. Nobody wants to square up. We all got used to being at home. And we got used to crying about it instead of dealing with it. We went,
so
and part of it is people of my generation, generation before me, we screwed up. I will
Huh?
own it. We screwed up. The Earls and the Kirby's and all that, we screwed up. We started making life easier for our kids, and we didn't teach them how to be responsible. And I don't want my babies going through the lifestyle I did. Look, I didn't want my kids going to hood, but you think I did not tell them about the lake? Look, my kids went and saw the hood. Like stood, I'm a mean mama. I left mine sitting on the corner and figure it out. And he was safe. Granted, I knew half the hood, but that didn't matter. He didn't know that.
right.
But it was a culture shock because I don't. We have to be real. My kids have to own their mess. Whether I gave birth to them or somebody else gave birth to them, they have to own their mess. Well, you don't understand. Look, you can't hold against me what I did when you were 12. You can't hold after
Mm,
you hit 18. These are your choices, boo boo. Square up.
mm-hmm.
Deal with it. Forgive them. Forgive yourself for dealing with it, and let's move on. And I have conversations every day. Set boundaries. If your mama ain't acting right, kick her to the curb. Set boundaries. If your daddy ain't acting right, kick him to the curb. Set boundaries. The same place you pick these
Riz
people
is in the
at,
building.
drop
What
them
up,
off.
bro?
Unless, of course, you're like somebody else I know, and they say if I pick you up on the corner and you get to show acting out before I get to the 3 blocks down, I'm dropping you off 3 blocks down. You're gonna have to walk back to where you came from. Um,
Fat.
like this is the reality of it, and we need to start treating people the way they are. Now I say that understanding that my people be going, we saw an MF doing this and that, but see,
Good morning. Good
I
morning.
have to show God's grace.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do what I have to do because I have to hold. Hey, Wash baby, how you doing? Um, I have to practice what I preach.
Right.
But while I'm practicing what I preach, understand I might not be petty, but I rock with petty. I'm not the biggest dog on the porch. I'm just the one sitting there eating. Look, I'm over here. I'm a frog on top of that. I ain't even a dog. I'm sitting over here hopping around, going, doo, doo, running around with some pit bulls. Keep playing, okay? I'm a watch.
Yeah. Like the thing is, right? Especially for us parents, because I know for a fact that I taught my kids how to be independent.
Right,
From the day that I can speak to them, I spoke independence into both of them. Their mom did the same, right? Because if it's something happened to us where we couldn't do anything for them, they know how to do for themselves,
right.
right? They don't really rely on us as much as most kids would rely on their parents. Obviously, for better things like money, clothes, food, right? Things that's needed, right? Necessities. They will rely on us. But basic shit, right? Cooking, stuff like that, they know how to do. They've known how to do it at a young age. My son was cooking at 10 years old.
Hmm.
If you
I
don't
taught
have,
him values, right? He knows how to put things together and take them apart. And if he doesn't know how, he has questions. And my kids are respectful as hell.
how old are you?
My oldest is about to be 16,
Okay,
and then my youngest is going on 12.
gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So they, on top of that, they watch each other, right? So they pay attention to each other's behaviors, habits, and things that they do. So I always tell my oldest, I was like, you gotta really be mindful because your brother's watching your every move. You're his guide. You're his guardian angel in a sense. You're his mentor without realizing it. He watches everything that you do. So if you fall short and you feel like you can't pick yourself back up, that's when you come to me, come to mom, come to your stepdad, Terry, right? You have four parents. It's not just two anymore. So
Right.
you have plenty of people you can have a conversation with if you feel like you're falling short.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no reason why you have to stay stagnant. You can actually have a conversation with us. We've taught you that to be vocal. We've never muted your voice. That was the one thing that we taught our kids, that you never have to mute your voice. If you
Yeah, I
feel like
taught
you have something to get off your chest, get it off your chest.
in a respectful way is what I taught my kids too.
Right. So I want everybody to realize that we don't say these things and then not apply it.
Ooh.
Right?
Okay, so I think you should elaborate on that that
Yeah.
get off your chest part right there, because
Okay.
I ain't gonna even hold you. My spirit had PTSD real quick. I, listen.
Okay. So for me, right, I give the floor is open conversation when it comes to my kids.
Oh, okay.
I don't minimize the things that they want to let off. I even let them cuss. Yep. I,
Mm-hmm.
I let them cuss.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I
Say
I
how say again?
Can I just say this? People fail when they put the label kids, children, and that title on these people. They forget that these were still people and they have opinions. Kids get cursed out just like adults. And when you shush them sometimes, then if you continue to shush your kids, what are they really not telling you? I'd rather for
thank you.
my kids have an open relationship, so even the stuff I don't want to hear, they still talk about it to me. So therefore, there's nothing hidden. They don't have to be fearful to come in and talk to me.
At
Okay.
all.
Question.
I mean,
What?
what? What's
No,
your question?
no. I listen. I'm not judging. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, no. What
You
was the
can
question?
judge me all you
What's the
want.
question?
Come on and
Okay.
judge me if you're
So
so
Now,
so
what
damn
was the
so
question? What was
so.
the question?
Okay. Now, here's the question. Okay, I'm hearing what you're saying, but why? Why would not you require your kids to develop an advanced vocabulary, right?
Hmm.
And not and you know what? I can't rock with y'all with the allowing your kids to cuss thing.
Well, my
That's
kids
maybe
are
maybe
22
Respectful.
years
No, no.
old.
Hold on. Let's stop,
wait,
stop,
wait.
stop, guys. Let
All
him
right.
finish. Let
Let
him
him
finish.
finish. Come on
Let him
now.
finish.
Okay.
Dad.
So I mean, to each his own,
Hmm.
right?
Hey.
I believe even even using profanity, right, is where people typically go when they're short of vocabulary, right?
Okay.
Or when they're emotionally full and and the logic is gone, and now you just need to make an impact on what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But I truly require my children, right? If you can't if you can't articulate what you want to say, even when you're upset, when you're sad, when you withstand trauma and everything else, if you
Hmm.
can't articulate clearly what needs to be said without using the profanity, you're still allowing the emotion, right? You haven't checked the emotion yet. Once you can articulate what you want to say, you have the responsibilities that come along with age and whatever role you play in the family, right? Then you can use profanity, right? But until then, we're gonna work on your vocabulary. Me personally, no smoke to nobody. I think that people that allow their kids to cuss are those people that don't put the effort into teaching them vocabulary, expression, and what it means to actually express, right? And that
Mhm.
rules and boundaries stay in place, even though you're upset or you're sad.
I respect that.
Can I just
So
say one thing?
Ooh, I want on in on this
real
one.
quick, real quick, real quick,
Okay.
real quick, real
We
quick.
listen and we don't judge.
Right. So I agree and disagree with you. Not debating, just my personal opinion.
Hmm.
Because for my kids, very educated. I'm talking about straight A students, both of them.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So as far as their
Hmm.
vocabulary and their education, top tier, no questions
Hmm.
asked. Right. My thing is, for me, I just rather them let it off. I don't want them to not have emotions. Right. I want them to let it off, and then we check it after. Period. Point blank. Right. Because me being mindful of holding shit in until it fucking explodes. I've seen it happen. I've been that person, right? So before it gets to that point, I'd rather just let them let off, right? I'm not telling them to let it off in the public. I'm not telling them to do it where they're not safe in your home with us, right? Let it off, and then we'll figure it out after the fact.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
So,
Because
so I hear what you're saying, but I'm almost thinking that by when I and you're not the first person I heard that from, right? And my response to them is that are you reinforcing to your kids that profanity is the only way to express yourself, even when you're
no,
that pissed,
nope.
right?
It's not
Ooh,
even. It's
So
not
why
even
not
that.
teach
I
them
want to
that,
hear.
It's
right?
not, but it's not even that though. Think about it. Hold on, time
Mm.
out. It's not even that, right? I rather them.
Hmm.
I rather them let it off, and then we speak about it after in different ways to release it, right? Because at that
Hmm.
moment, that's what they're feeling. So let it off. Then we have a conversation about how to release it better. Because
Okay.
I've noticed with my kids, because even if they do use profanity, they don't use it as much as they used to. They
So,
don't. They don't use it as much as they used to because it used to be they needed to let it off. Fuck, da da da, shit, boom. They let it out. We have a conversation about it. Now they don't even do that shit as much as they used to. Sweetie could ask you. She could tell you.
I think the part that needs to be expressed is
Hey
they're
Val.
intelligent enough and they are well disciplined enough and well behaved enough to understand when it's appropriate and when it's not.
Absolutely.
They are extremely well behaved children. When I tell you these children, I sometimes I question if they're robots because they're so well behaved. Um, they know there's a time and a place for it. It's it's not an
Great
every
rising. What's
sentence
up, Carson?
thing. It's not an every paragraph thing. It's not a every time I see them thing. That's how unoften it happens.
Hmm.
Even
I
though I
think it's
tell them that they
important
can.
for them to understand
mm,
that they can let it out and not have to stifle themselves when they're truly that upset. Me, I have a trucker mouth,
hey,
a
Solo.
bad trucker mouth.
Solo.
I'm probably worse than those kids are, and I'm pushing 40. Sometimes my profanities are not well behaved, well rehearsed, well timed, any of that. And those kids, if they wanted to, because of their age and they don't know any better, could they abuse that privilege? And they
Absolutely.
don't. That I think that's where the difference is and the distinction is between letting them express themselves and just doing it for fun. Like they don't, you can tell that they're well behaved and educated because of the fact that they know when it's appropriate and when it's not. Yes, sometimes when we're joking around, do they catch us off guard and say something that you didn't exactly expect? Especially the little one seems to do it while I'm driving, and I don't expect it, so it catches me off guard sometimes. But it's not an every single time they're with us type thing.
No, it's
It's
not.
not an every single time they open their mouth type thing. Like they, for their age, they have a lot of discernment into when they feel the need to use that. And I even think sometimes that they like they're okay with not doing it all the time. Like they don't feel the need to. Where there's kids that will abuse that.
And when we talk about abuse it, TikTok for educational purposes, it's every sentence,
Right.
right?
All that makes me
That
itch.
that's also
Right.
what
So like, the thing is, right? When I tell you that I took great pride in teaching my kids that they can vocalize and express themselves however they feel they need to express themselves, but I also taught them that there's a time and a place for it, right? Because even with having conversations with my oldest, like just me and him one on one on the phone or something like that, or in person, I catch him off guard because I'm like, okay. For example, he likes to ask for money without no reason why. He just be like, "Can I get whatever, whatever?" He doesn't tell me why. So I be like, listen, as an adult, because you're about to be 18 in a couple of years, you need to vocalize why you need this, right? So that way we have a better understanding of if I can give it to you or not. I'm not just gonna give it to you just because you're my son.
why
I need
not?
to know why. You know what I'm saying? So I vocalized that with him. I was like, listen, we need to know why. So he'll tell me, da 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 da. Okay, cool. Cash app, boom, it's yours. But for you to just jump out and be like, I need money, I'm not just gonna give it to you. I need to know why.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
So,
you're,
huh?
I said, but your dad.
I
You know
get
what
it,
ATM
right?
is
But
still.
still, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I'm very big on saying no to my kids. Even though if I have it, I'm gonna say no because I need you to appreciate the fact that you're able to even
That
receive
part.
that. You get what I'm
That
saying?
part.
So, a lot of people that spoil their fucking kids, and when their kids say no, when you say no to your kids, they go off the tangent and having all these fucking panic attacks because you told them no. My kids don't do that.
Facts.
They don't do
But
that.
here's
If I
the
tell
thing.
them no, it's no, and then they'll be like, all right, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or if I don't have it, I'd be like, listen, ask your mom, see if she has it. If she does have it, cool. If she don't, cool. Remember, you got four parents. If you really need it, we'll figure it out. But if it's not necessary and you really don't need it, the answer is no.
Facts.
Like, you know what I'm
So,
saying? Like,
right.
it's not just I'm not just gonna throw it your way just to throw it your way. That's not something that I do. I've never had that. You know what I'm saying? Where
Right.
money was just given to me because, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's my grandmother that she just like to spoil people. But that's beside the point. Um,
But here's the
You
thing.
gonna throw
So Eric
grandma under the
said
bus?
there's a question of there's a question of intelligence, things like that when we cuss.
right.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have biological children and I have children that are just mine.
Yeah.
Um, the thing I have learned in all of these years of raising all of these kids, because I've been raising them longer than I had kids, was they need an ability to express themselves. And when you make it to where they understand I can cuss within reason at a specific time, or I can express
Hey,
myself as
Sierra.
long as it takes the where their friends are making it, oh, look, I did something. It takes that away because now you're using it intelligently. And in the same token, y'all hear me talk, you say Fraggle Rock and all kinds of,
Amazing.
and ain't nobody getting offended by it because I'm creative in what I gotta say.
But you also have to look at culture. Some of these kids were walking around and the only way, every other word out their parents' mouth is a cuss word. Every word out their friend's mouth is a cuss word. They're learning differently and they're working on it. It's not a case of intelligence. It's in a case of sometimes for me to get my point across, I got to switch how I talk to get it to the point that other people don't understand it. Because some folks don't understand it when I talk softly. Some folks don't understand it when I talk nicely. They think I'm being a punk, and baby, please don't mess up and make that mistake. But you can, I'll let you. But here's the thing, it's not a question. These kids we're talking about, they're not unintelligent children. Each and every person that's sitting here saying, yeah, I let my kid cuss. First off, my youngest child is 18 years old. My oldest child, the oldest person that calls me mama, is 35. And they still treat me like I'm 80 and they got to give me the respect of a little old church lady. They're careful on what they say and how they say it. Because I
In
don't
that
have
order.
no problem squaring up in the front yard with nobody.
Yeah.
See
And I just
that
say
part
this
right
real
there.
quick, but scientific studies show that a person who uses profanity often is a very intelligent person.
It does show that.
It does show that.
It does show
Saying it
that.
does not make you unintelligent. It does not mean that you cannot articulate your words. I curse because it just sounds nice. Let's be honest.
Oh wow,
It's also it's the thing.
wow.
But here's the other thing. You're putting your thought processes and your culture and your requirements on how
Yes.
people should talk against somebody that's not from your background, your culture, your understanding. We think differently. Earl, you like to pick a fight and you like to do it in fancy words, but it still comes down to you like being a troll. You like standing in people's heads and causing chaos and upsetting them to no level.
That's the thing. I curse, but it's not in a malicious way. I don't
No,
curse
no, no.
in.
Earl does it maliciously sometimes.
No,
Sis.
no, I
Don't let
don't. I
Earl lie
just
to
ask
you.
the questions that everybody else dance around. That's all.
I
It's
respect
not.
it.
And
I
that's your
respect it
excuse,
wholeheartedly.
Earl.
Oh, I'm
That's
not.
your
I'm not.
excuse.
I'm not disputing anything he said. I'm just simply saying what scientific studies show.
Right. I
I
agree with
mean,
you.
this it's not. So we're not
We're not
debating.
disputing
It's
or
not
you're
disagreeing,
right.
right? Because everybody's opinion is valued here at the end of the
Exactly.
day. So my thing is right, and I want everybody to be clear on this. That's coming in. That's new. Because we do got a new panelist here. Welcome in, sir. Um,
Thank you for having me.
absolutely.
Hello, everyone.
No, we're about to corrupt somebody.
Right here in this. Listen, I don't corrupt anybody. They if they choose to be here, they choose to be here. That's the thing. Um, that's my biggest thing, right?
Welcome to the rabbit hole.
I'll never hold somebody hostage. Yeah, if they gotta go, they gotta go.
Lie.
Um, I don't,
Lie.
and I don't cut it out.
You do.
Thank you, Owl Nation. Appreciate you.
You know what I'm saying? My biggest thing too, and kind of revert back to the question is, all of this plays a role, right? Leaving a stamp in the world, leaving that your legacy, leaving that behind for people, right? One of the things that should be important is the things that we leave within our children, the education, the knowledge, right? The know-it-all. That's important, right? Not one person fucking said that.
Well, first off, I
Wait,
didn't say anything.
Not no. Hold on. Time out. I was reading the comments. I was reading the comments. I was paying attention. Y'all know I pay
Said
attention to
I
the
was
comments like
running
a hawk.
4 things at one time. You are
I was
lucky
No,
that I
I
was
was
paying.
gonna
able to
say I
speak.
never
Time
did
out.
answer the question though.
Time
Right,
out.
we didn't answer the
Hold on.
question because we ended up having to argue with Earl.
Right. I never heard anybody responding to the question directly.
Exactly.
Thank
Exactly.
you.
The
See,
only
but
person
you
that the
went
only
just for
person
that
that
alone.
really responded, the only person that really responded was Earl, and
It
um
was
and
true.
Huntress. That's it. So
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
push
ask the
Earl's
question again. I'm gonna ask the question again with all the information, with everything that we just spoke about, right? I'm gonna ask the question again. What kind of impact do you want to leave behind, personally and professionally? I'll let you go first, sir. Go for it. Go for it.
So I'm a family man. I'm a husband. I have 7 children, 3 in college, one in high school, 3 in middle school. And I think about my family first.
Okay.
I have a lot of. I'm a business owner.
Mhm.
We have a lot going on, But what I do with my family, is essential to my own wellness,
Okay.
right? So I'm well when my family is well. So when it comes to legacy, I certainly want to have an impact, personally towards my family and making sure that my children have these kind of pearls and jewels that we give them lingering around somewhere in their cerebellum till they get ready to use them, right? Because they're not going to always attach to it, tether themselves to grace and consideration every moment something is being told to them.
Hmm.
But there'll be something that'll trigger, the idea or the memory of what was said to them. And we've seen this come up many times. So
Absolutely.
I'm very proud, of what me and my wife have done, thus far with doing that. And for me, it is all about that, But I also want the world to be a better place. So I do that through my business, where
Hmm.
we take performing, creative, and visual arts and use them in a way that creates betterment in different fields. For example, we see competition to be something that people love and they enjoy. Everybody loves a good fight, right? Everybody loves a good competition. We
Absolutely.
think that there can be a way to do that without people getting hurt,
Hmm.
right? Or without the competition being so visceral that, certain words have to come out of your mouth in order for people to enjoy what they're seeing.
Right.
So when you're talking about the curse words, to me, it's more like curse words versus expletives, right? They're two
Okay.
different
I
things.
like that. I
Two
like
different
that.
things,
I like
right?
that.
So we got to be able to discern the difference between what we like,
Hmm.
what we want, what we then become to desire versus what we need.
Right.
So I want to give the world all of this kind of ideology to just leave around because there's so much negativity, right? And the
Hmm.
negativity is very attractive. The negativity bias that
I
exists
say
within
that all the
a
time.
lot of people.
I say it all the
It's
time.
yeah, it's just I we don't admit it as much as we should, but when we go to the movie and see somebody get decapitated in a movie, especially if it's a villain, we'll cheer for that. Like we just didn't watch somebody head get chopped off. It's 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 just really what it is to me, man. So I would
Yeah.
overall, I'm gonna land the plane. I just want betterment for the world, but
Mm.
first and foremost, man, I think if my children and my wife, are still here to carry on, the memory of things I would speak about, the
Right.
things I think about. I think I've overall accomplished my mission, if that's the case.
I like that. I think that's perfect right there, especially for your life, for your situation with everything that you expressed to us. So I
Yeah.
think that makes a lot of sense with all
Yeah.
of it together. Yeah, so
Thank you.
I like that. Babe, if you want to answer the question, what kind of impact do you want to leave the world behind personally and professionally? Oh, you on the phone call? Okay. Froggy, question for you too. What kind of impact do you want to leave behind personally and professionally?
The one I'm trying to leave now. Let's be real with it. Like, my name says a lot. My mentality, how I function, how we move. Like, go through all of my go through all of my accounts. Go ahead, brave it up. My thing is, I want people to come out of it positive. We need a positive ripple effect. There's enough negativity floating in this world to hurt somebody
Right.
every day. And
Right.
I start working with people's kids. I just stopped doing it recently,
Hmm.
where the children were, I primarily worked with teenagers. Um, but I've worked with them all the way down to, we all know, those of us that have been rocking with me for a while, we know about Thuggerella. She's officially 4.
Right.
Um, my job is to give them a fighting chance, to teach them that they are beautiful, they're wonderfully made, they're a blessing in someone's life. Like, these things, they're loved unconditionally. And this is something we all need to hear and we all need to know. And the first thing we have to learn it from is we got to love ourselves. So
Hmm.
my impact is to try to convince people that you're beautiful inside and out. My job is to teach you that God loves you no matter what. Now you got to do some work, y'all. Don't walk around thinking. But you got to do that changes your mindset, and that's
Absolutely.
to go where we're at and what we're doing. And that's why so many of us. Let me rephrase it because there ain't that as many of us as there should be. That's why there's some of us that are literally we're teaming together to do this, and we're pushing for this because mental health, emotional health, physical health, spiritual health, all of this is one thing. It
It
goes
is.
together hand in hand, and the
CK,
impact
welcome
is
in.
to convince everyone to get there, to work on being the best version of you. Hold
Right.
yourself accountable for your crap, because we
Absolutely.
do that a lot. Um, and if you don't know it, and apply this information you get, because I've got, like yesterday, well, I don't even know if it was yesterday, it's probably Sunday. I literally had to raise my voice, which we know I don't do really a lot,
Right.
but I had to get aggressive.
Uh,
Earl. I had to get aggressive because of the fact that I have somebody that literally, he can literally everything I've ever said, everything you've ever said, everything positive anybody's ever said, he can regurgitate it like nobody's business, but he can't apply it to his own life.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
But the problem is they can apply the trash that's out there, the hate,
But
the
that's a choice.
they're exactly you're choosing to apply
You're
the
choosing to
ugliness
apply
to the
these things.
positive, and we have to teach people how to that there is that choice, and that those voices you've been hearing since you were 3 are true, and get
So my thing is right when regards to that, when it comes to that, for everybody that's known me, for everybody that's new, I'm a certified discipline, confidence, and empowerment coach. Okay, I've been hosting a podcast on here for almost the last 4 years about self accountability, looking at yourself, putting yourself first, so that way anybody that's within your life can really appreciate and see you in full value and full confidence. Right. The information that I give is not just to give it. You have to want to apply it. But
right.
once I give it, the choice is yours whether you apply it or not.
Yes, but if you don't apply it, please don't come over here to Frog Nation, to the lily pad, and be like, "Yeah, do
You know what I'm saying? Like I can't force you to apply it.
that."
I can give the knowledge, I can give the education, I can
Don't
give
waste
you
my
the know
time.
it all. But the wanting to apply it, you have to figure out why you don't want to apply it. Why don't you want positivity and peace in your life? Why do you want chaos? Why is chaos a part of your
Because I hang out with
everyday?
Earl. Because
No.
I love Earl.
Believe it or not,
That's
and I truly believe this, just because I have a good sense of self, and when it comes to people, Earl don't give a fuck about this app.
I don't. I don't. But here's the
Like,
thing:
I'm
there's
gonna
so
be
many
completely
people.
honest. This is me being completely honest, right?
Earl does not care one direction or the other, but a
He
lot of
don't.
people
He don't because once he's off this app, he's living his peaceful life.
absolutely because he caused enough
that's a
chaos on here for
You know
everybody
what I'm
else.
saying? But the thing is, right? This is the thing. This is the thing, right? And we're gonna be honest. We're gonna be real honest. Not a single person that goes on his panel has to go up there.
Absolutely does not. And not a single person, and no offense to you, Earl, because I actually do like you as a human. Um, some days it's up for question whether or not I love you, but I like you for a human. I choose love every day, but you're annoying sometimes. I'm playing. Um, Here's the thing: anybody that ever goes into Earl's lives, if you don't understand that it is just for chaotic entertainment, that's on you. I'm gonna put it the way it is. Don't
Facts.
get me wrong. You can get some good nuggets of information out of there because they just fall out the apple
I
cart.
mean, he does provide some good information though. I'm not
Right.
gonna act like he
But
doesn't. He definitely does.
y'all got to look at things in the correct manner. Arrow's not put here to he's not put here to do what I'm doing, which is get your mind in the right point so that you have a positive day. He's not here to do what Monumental does, which is get you, acknowledging your stuff and applying these things to your life. He is here for entertainment purposes. He'll give you some good nuggets if you pay attention. But if y'all are literally basing how you feel about yourself by going into lives like Earl's, you get what you get. Don't pitch a
Wait.
fit.
No, but let's be honest though, right? Because I'm gonna, like I said, this is not to attack Earl's platform because Earl has a great platform. He
He's
does.
awesome. I love
So
Earl's platform.
so there is a sense of education and knowledge that comes behind the topics that he picked, right? And a
Uh-uh.
lot of people don't catch it because they're so focused on the fucking chaos. They don't pay
Right.
attention
You're
to the
not
knowledge that's
catching
behind
the.
everything. Me personally, this is the reason why I tell Earl I won't go on his panel anymore because if I come up there, I'm gonna debunk a lot of the shit that people are saying, and people are not gonna like it. He knows that because he knows that I can actually articulate myself. So I don't go up there. I just let it be what it is. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And I
I'm
watch
not
from the
allowed on
comments.
Earl's panel either. Don't feel bad.
You know what
Because
I'm saying? But
they a mess. But I love Earl. I love
it's
Earl.
it's it's an amazing experience, right? And like I said, the way that you handle yourself up there is how you handle yourself. Earl is not gonna hold you accountable on how you handle yourself. You are an adult. You know how to handle yourself. You know how to put yourself in a position to where you're not indulging in the chaos, right? I've been on his panel multiple times and I've never indulged in the chaos. Ask him. I've
No.
never indulged in it. I just continued with the you know what I'm saying, the prompt, having a conversation with Earl. I completely ignored his whole fucking panel.
So, and then this
I
is the bad
completely ignored
part.
his whole panel.
A
I just
lot
had
of
a
these,
conversation with Earl.
a
Yeah,
lot of
this is
these
the bad
plat.
part. Earl's panel. It's not Earl. I mean, Earl does say some things that's absolutely hilarious. do
It
love
is.
watching
Yeah.
Trigger
Love
and
his
his.
content too. His content's great.
I do, but it's they want the chaos. Arrow gives them the chaos. But the part that tickles me to no end, and no, there's not a Church of Earl charity. If there was one, I'd probably donate to the church just for entertainment purposes. Um,
Uh,
like I'm a horrible, I'm that friend. But here's the thing: Earl and I run into each other in lives like this one and other ones. Y'all, let me really traumatize y'all. Earl shows up in my lives. It's a church live. It's a devotional live, and Earl is there.
What up, though?
Earl.
J to the
If
motherfucking
Earl's
Ghana.
on
What
his
up, though?
mess, Earl very quickly leaves
Come on in. Right.
because Earl knows that my minds ain't playing with him. He's been blocked before. Um,
Oh wow.
I am so so. See, now people don't
Listen,
play about me.
but
I'm
let but let but
I'm
let's
not the
let's
sweet
put
one.
the the truth out there. This is all family, guys. I
Yeah.
promise you. It is. Even though we all have different platforms and we here to serve different purposes, you will see us together, whether it's on my platform or somebody else's. It's all family at the
Oh
end of the
yeah,
day,
we would meet
right?
each other everywhere. If
So
y'all don't know we don't rock, we rock together. All I'm gonna tell you is that's because y'all don't know me like that. That's all I can tell y'all
we we
because
we
I
rock
figure the
very
So
Earl's
let
closely.
me
platform on a
so let
different
me ask
account.
this question then.
Go for it.
Let me ask a question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Earl, uh are these things they saying about you true, sir?
listen, listen. How people digest me is different across all spectrums,
It
right?
is.
I would like to think that I don't like to have the easy conversations, right? Those closed ended conversations. I like open ended conversations. I like those conversations that make you scratch your eyebrow, change your position in your chair, question whether or not you should answer it or not, right? But in an adult manner. You
Right.
feel me? Not
Mm-hmm.
I don't like coddling nobody's feelings. I'm a firm believer that no one can offend you. You can only choose to be offended, right? So once people know that, we can get to the root of all these conversations we have a million times over and over. Because, like my brother King said earlier in his live, right when I was in the FYP just listening, you did. Uh, I'm not here to validate your feelings or how if you don't want change, you don't want change. If you up here because you just want me to
Thank y'all for the
validate how
follow.
you feel in that moment, that's a you issue, right? So people find discomfort in me doing that because it's against the social norm.
Absolutely.
It's not you know what I find, and I understand what you're saying. You know, at the end of the day, this is a platform among many. You know, however it be the biggest of platforms, right? Social media wise. it's still among a variety of platforms. So I look at, some of these platforms and I wonder how how much intricate thought people put into knowing and understanding, not just from a philosophical place, right? But maybe more from an epistemological place where they really know what it is they're engaging on and who they're engaging with for why and whatever purposes they're doing it so for.
I
So
know.
for me,
I think it's less of that than it is more of it.
I think the problem that we have, right, and this is just be completely honest, motherfuckers got too much time on their hand.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
Let's. I'm just gonna be honest with it, right? I want to be politically
Absolutely.
correct as much as possible, but I gotta be honest, right? Because that's just me. I'm from Brooklyn. I can't help myself. Um, a lot of
I'm from
people
the
that
South,
jump on
and I'm
a lot of
praising
people
God
that
on it.
jump on those panels, right? And this is no shot to Earl's platform at all, because Earl knows I love him to death. I would do anything for him. Most of those people don't have too much time on their hands.
That part.
They don't work. They don't have a job. They don't do enough to really have time to where they're not on the platform, right? Because if you could ask anybody, you barely see me once I go live. Like once I go
Right,
live and I
right.
get off the live, I'm really not on here at all. Like you'll catch me pop in and out, but I'll never be on a really like a panel and sit there and having a full blown conversation. It's just not me, right? I have too much things to do. A lot of people don't have enough. They don't
Yes,
have
yes,
enough to
yes,
do.
you do. I'm missing so much information. I mean, anyway.
They don't have enough to do. So when they jump on these panels, right? And Earl's having these real conversations because it is tough conversations. It's real subjects people don't want to talk about in
At
the
Give me
all.
social
one.
norm. They don't
Give
want
me
to
one.
talk about it, right? The people that come up here to talk about it are not qualified to talk about it. First off, because they themselves don't even know who they are to have those
And
conversations.
that's what I'm saying. That's
Like
exactly
you know what I'm saying? Like
that's
Right, at
exactly what I'm
all.
saying. I just don't want to be. I don't want to sound offensive about it,
you
right?
know what? The thing
It
is,
could
right?
make.
Don't be offensive.
Bible,
Sorry.
Bible. I'm gonna keep it all the way a stack, right? We don't do no fluffy shit here. We don't. We
No.
t- we
Well,
keep it all the
no,
way
we
100,
do.
right?
We
We keep
do.
it respectful, but we keep it all the way 100 here. Because I,
Right.
I I honestly don't feel like the fluff works for people sometimes.
Yeah,
They
but
they
it's still a tactful way to present your
absolutely,
information, right?
absolutely, absolutely,
Without
absolutely,
being hyperbolic about it, right?
Okay.
absolutely,
And
absolutely, absolutely.
So, brother, can I ask you a
We have
question? What?
platforms for that.
Hey, Lukey,
Hold on. Can I ask you a question? Though, check this out. Right. Here's my logic.
go
Right.
for it.
You have logic.
Um. If listen, if you allow someone to remain comfortable and you're telling them something that they either need to hear or something that they're totally disregarding, but you allow them to remain comfortable, what initiative is it for them to change if you say it in a manner in which it does not kick in their fight or flight, it does not make them uh, sit up and think outside of the box? They're comfortable, right? It can go in one ear and out the other. But if you say something that's triggering, right, you will be remembered long after that conversation is over, right? If you say something in a manner like even earlier we were having the conversation on profanity, right? If I can articulate what needs to be said without calling you out of your name or using an explanative every other word, right?
Right.
That's gonna have a profound impact on your mental, your emotion, and your being in that state in that point in life, right? But if I let's say if I got over emotional, let's say if I said everything really nice and kind and I didn't say what needs to be said because it's against the social norm, then that means what I'm doing is mute. It's irrelevant. I'm just up there to please people and stroke somebody's ego. I
Ooh.
say what needs to be said, in my opinion.
I
Okay,
mean,
but you say
but
what you need to
I don't.
if
said,
you
but
Go ahead,
if you
guys.
if you notice, right, uh, there are a lot of people doing the same thing. You know what you're talking about, and I know what they're doing it for. I know why they're doing. I know why you do it. I mean, because it stokes the conversation. The listeners are seemingly more engaged and more in tune to that. If they come by my page and they hear me, sounding like a hippie, they're not as likely to, just sit and want to listen to the kindness of those things, right? And the grace and the consideration I have in my voice when I discuss various subjects. I'm mostly DJing on my live, so
Right.
I give my love through art is what I'm saying,
I
right?
love
But
that. I love that. I like that.
I know that there are more people who just know what triggers people. So what you're talking about really is shock therapy for real. Like, I do it
Yeah,
with the
okay.
kids.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do it with the kids all the time. Like, and that speaks volumes too, right? Because it's like, most of these people, even though they're adults, they still have adolescent mindsets.
Hmm.
So of course you
Yes.
have to talk to them like children sometimes.
Hmm.
Uh, to do the kind of things that really get their attention, right? If I'm saying, hey, I need you to go outside and get the leaves up and water the grass or do whatever I'm telling you to do, and kind of acting like you heard me a little bit, but I'm still playing the game, so I'm gonna act like I didn't really hear you. But if I say get the f up, that triggers. Oh,
He's
oh,
not
it's real.
playing.
Oh, it's real now. But it was real. It was real when I said it the nice way. It
Right.
was real then too, right? So what's the difference? That's that shock therapy in there. But I'm a guy that likes to empower people. And
Same.
the best
Okay.
way to give people empowerment for real is to just say what you want them to hear. And then leave that up to them to pick the pearl up or not. It's not your business if they get corrected through it. Hold on,
Right.
give me a second, guys.
So I agree with him in a sense, right? Because some people are able to take the information in a healthy way, right? In a way where it doesn't have to be a shock therapy type of situation. There is people
Sorry,
that are
sorry
able to
about
do
that,
so,
guys.
right? No, you're
That was
good.
my
You're
wife
good.
call.
No, you're good. But
Uh,
I agree with you,
yeah,
right? I agree with you. So there are individuals that are able to take the information without it being type of a shock therapy type of situation, right?
right.
Because I do run across those individuals more often than not because, like I said, I'm the way that I handle things. I tell them the truth without really having to like jam it. You know what I'm saying? Jam them into it. But I ask them thought provoking questions, right?
Right.
Like for example, for somebody that lacks accountability, that wants to blame everybody else for their problems,
Uh-oh.
when they have a conversation with me or they want to vent to me, I never allow them to blame the other person
Uh-oh.
because you can only be ignorant once in a situation. The moment you continue to let it happen, it's a choice, it's a habit, it's an addiction.
And that's
You know
what
what I'm
Earl was
saying?
talking about. Same thing
Right.
Earl was talking about. Yeah.
Exactly. But I asked the question of what role did you play? They can never fucking answer the question because they're so focused on blaming the other person for what happened that they never thought to look at them in the situation,
I
right?
feel attacked.
For example, let's talk about infidelity, right?
Oh yeah, I don't have that problem.
A lot of people have dealt with that situation, right? Infidelity. Like I've got cheated on once or twice or three times by the same person. That first time you forgave them, cool, right?
Are we talking about a
You're aware,
relationship or a marriage?
it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter.
It matters. Now
Hold
the
on. And
commitment level matters,
let
right?
me let me let me let me
Even
just get it
then,
out. Let me just get it out real quick.
Go ahead.
That first time, right? Cool. It happened, you forgave them. You're aware that they're capable of doing these things, right? So you can no longer be ignorant to the situation. Am I right? Am I right
valid
or am I
point.
wrong?
Valid
Keep
point.
going.
I'm gonna
No,
help
Right.
them
keep
out
going.
because they're already trying to argue this. But you're right. You're aware that they could possibly do this. Got it.
Right? Okay, so we're all on the same page in regards to that. Okay. They do it a second time, right?
Yeah.
You cannot sit there and blame that person if you chose to stay. Regardless of what the situation is, right? Because if we're supposed to be putting ourselves first, right? We're supposed to be putting ourselves first and focusing on ourselves first, so that way everybody in collective is in good standings, right? How are you putting yourself first if it's a continuous situation that you're allowing? And that can go for anything. That can go for anything. It don't matter what it is. I just use infidelity as one of them, but that could go for anything, right? If you're continuing to allow something to happen, knowing that you've seen it already happen with a person or a situation, and you continually be a part of it or allow it to happen in your life, how can you say that one, you're putting yourself first, and then blame the other person for allowing for it happening or it keep happening, and you're not moving the fuck out the way when it happens the second time or the third time or the fourth time?
Uh-oh.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really
First time
think of
shame on you.
I
Second
mean,
time
I
shame
was
on
right,
me.
think
It's the
about that.
silence for me.
talking
It's the
about
silence for me.
infidelity.
Because I listen, I've had this conversation multiple times. Like, this is the thing, right? A lot of people, when it comes to accountability, people don't realize how important it is. They don't. They think it's just a word. They think there's just one level to it. There's multiple levels to accountability. Because then when you're accountable to things, then you have to self-reflect on the things that you chose to keep in your life. You chose to allow to keep happening in your space. You chose to allow something to attack your boundaries. You chose to be with this person. You chose to be friends with this person. You chose this job. You chose these situations. You chose, you chose, you chose.
You're getting aggressive. You're getting aggressive. You're getting aggressive.
I'm just saying, right? Like, we gotta think about these things. This is important, right? There's a reason why a lot of people walk around oblivious, because nobody's saying these
Yeah.
things, right? We have relationships that fail to a degree that it shouldn't be, because we choose to stay. We choose to keep dealing with the infidelity. We choose to keep dealing with the lack of loyalty and the lack of trust and the lack of respect. Even in a business relationship, a friendship, a family ship,
Or
a
you poor
relationship, a
boss.
marriage.
Wait a
Don't know
minute,
how to
hold
really be a
on.
leader.
What about when our friends tell us, don't stop doing what you're doing, just sit back and don't get in the way? Yeah, you sitting
Or
back.
or
Well,
or
that's because they probably had situations where it was just better to be in a good way than to try and fight. You know, when they don't know how to fight
my
back.
biggest thing too, right? My
Perhaps.
biggest thing.
You
Hold
know.
on, we don't know how to fight. I got
No.
one for that.
Time out, time out, time out, time out, time out. So, when it comes to friendships, first of all, I don't think a lot of people know what a true friendship look like.
Amen.
Let's keep it all the way 100. A lot of people think it's just vacations and drinking and partying, right? No, it's
Well, I
not. It
vacation,
goes deeper than
y'all, and
that.
I don't drink, so y'all
Most
got it.
most most
Do you have to call your friends
no, no,
every
no.
day?
You don't.
Some of
Absolutely
them,
not.
wait a minute,
Should
You could
should
hold
you
check
up,
in
call
on
your
them.
friends
You could
every
check in on them, but you don't have to call them
right?
every day.
hold up. There are some friends that I have.
I'm just saying, don't you have a life,
Yeah,
right? Like your
absolutely.
life, if it's going like
Okay,
how you should have it going, when you're dealing with your business and your
I
family and
agree.
your marriage or your
Right.
relationship or whatever, you don't have a lot of time
hold
to
on,
be
hold
engaging
on.
No,
other
let him get
people
it
in
out real
their
quick, Froggy.
activity,
Hold on.
right?
Let him get it out real quick, and I got you.
Yeah, so I think a true friend is somebody like a relative, right? Your play cousin. Maybe you ain't talked to your play cousin in years, but that dude or that girl, they still know you love them, and they know they love you. You know, so even if it's been 5, 6, 10 years, you'll call them. Anybody got people like that where you can call them after like 5, 10 years, and it's almost like the conversation just pick right back up where it left off. You know, it's a lot of laughter, it's a lot of love in
Right.
there. You can tell this is somebody who really is on your side, regardless of how much they communicate with you, right? Maybe it does show to somebody, that the lack of
I
what
got you,
you
sweetie.
do shows, what it is. But I don't think it's really that. I just think that if you have a friend, there's no levels to this, right? It's if you're my friend, you're committed to me. I'm your friend. I'm committed to you in a way that I just wouldn't do with a regular passerby.
Okay, I respect that.
You
I
know, and
respect that.
that's all about. It's all about the level of commitment, which is why I said a girlfriend versus a wife, totally different. Um, I just know that when you say you're going to sign up to be with somebody, for eternity, right? Because that's what you're doing when you
Hmm.
get married. Then there's a lot of conditions you might have on a girlfriend. You got to put that shit out the window because it didn't matter in that relationship versus what you told the universe or God that you would do with this person, for all of eternity. So that means you are going to have to tell yourself, I didn't like that experience, with with this person right here. But the plight of us all isn't about one experience, right? It's not about one grievance. We have a grievance or we don't have one. It's not I have a grievance,
So
it's
can I ask you a
we
question?
have a grievance.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I understand that. I understand the we mentality because you are married, right? I can understand that wholeheartedly. Even in
Right.
a regular relationship, it's still a we mentality because you're not by yourself. Period. Point blank. It should be,
Should be. Yeah.
right? One question. The first question is: do you feel like in a marriage there should be individuality?
That's a slippery slope, man, because a person with an individual
No, not an
mindset
individual
in
mindset.
a
I said individuality. There's two different things. Individuality is knowing
you're
who
right.
you
Yeah.
are as a person and having your standards and
Right,
boundaries and your
right,
core values.
right. And so why I said it's a
Okay.
slippery slope is there are those people who will take yeah, I think we need some gas. There are some people who would take that and really go all the
Hmm.
way with it. Like, hey, listen, I like this. And I know that you have this allergy to that, but that's the thing that I love. You mean to tell me I can no longer, you know, cook with peanut oil when I know you have a peanut allergy? There's some people that just like peanuts so much, they're willing to say, I just rather have my peanuts than I don't care how good of a person you are. So we're talking about people who then get with people who are not really deserving of the kind of relationship that's required versus people who, have all these conditions and they have all these desires, but none of them are tethered to a dyad. It's all about just them. And now you're dealing with a selfish person, which becomes even more dangerous, right? But you're the one that's trying to commit forever. So you don't have that thinking. So what do? You just stay the
So let
course.
me.
You don't quit and walk away. You don't, do all these other things, right? Trying to find somebody else or something. That would just be
So
totally
the
wrong,
reason why I
bro.
asked that question because I got to get off of here soon because I do have to go to work. Um, the reason why I asked that question is because I personally feel like, and this is my opinion only, a person that doesn't have their individuality, their core values, their understanding of who they are, their authentic self, the way that they treat people, the way that they treat the world, and the way that they are in a relationship becomes codependent of who that other person's individuality is versus having their own personality and core values and character. You get what I'm saying? I think that's where I was going with that.
Say it again, Powder.
That's where I was going with that because I feel like in a marriage, I'm not married, but this is just my ideology, right? Because I've spoken to people that were married and divorced, and coached them as well, that they feel like because they lost themselves in the marriage is the reason why the marriage failed.
Well, I'm gonna just say it like this because I know you
Yeah.
gotta go, right? I know at the end of the day, if you really understand what a marriage is, then you know that you need to be with somebody that's prepared to wipe your ass in the moment that you
Mm-hmm.
need it, right? There's some people who are so disgusted by that, no matter how much love they have for a person, they'll never do that. They'll hire
Mm-hmm.
somebody to do it and ask somebody, hey, can you come take care of this for me
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But if you're just not that kind of person, there's certain metrics you have to meet before I can move on to ask you
Right.
further questions, right? I have to know, are you long term with things that you say you're going to commit to? Or do you quit a lot of things? I have to know, are you the kind of person that's nurturing in your mindset? Are you objective enough to change your mind on stances that you feel like you are
Right.
tethered to? All these kind of things matter right up front, right? Because it gets to the base, the disposition, the very disposition of a person. How many times have we seen these YouTube videos where we got the clown pranks, right? They're scary, and I mean they are
Yeah.
kind of frightening, right? But at the end of the day, a person will say out their mouth every day, I love my children, I'll never leave my children, I'll never let anything or someone harm my children, and then they get around a scary clown and they run away, leaving the
Right.
children behind in the basket, right? You'll see the man say, I'll never let nothing happen to my woman. I love my woman to death. I'll fight anybody for a scary clown come around. I see you dip on your old lady. So I know that a lot of these people are not really who they say they are out of their mouth, but in a moment, the disposition comes out very clear. So I'm just saying a person who's going to get married needs to be committed says they'll be committed for eternity through all kind of different things. You better mean that shit when you
Right.
say that,
No, I agree.
because something, a variable just may come up that you just didn't expect to happen. Y'all could be laying in bed and somebody powering through the street, right? And then one of them come and hit one of y'all, and now you're different. Are you prepared to stay with that, even though it's so
Even though,
different? It's so
yeah, that's an
extremely
extreme
different, right?
situation, but yeah, it happens.
Are you really who you say you are? And I just think a lot of people are not really who they say they are, but it shows in the moment. If my wife couldn't do nothing, she couldn't cheat enough on me to make me leave her. I don't expect her to do that, but that's where my heart and my disposition is at, though. You have to be prepared for all kinds. You have to be prepared for you. You might do something against, those values and those vows that you just didn't expect yourself to do because some young, pretty little thing that came out of nowhere and offered you the best thing you could ever. It's like it was
Right.
irresistible. But if you're really who you are in your disposition, you can get that girl the hand to her face, or you can just walk away. Because at the end of the day, what's better for you, what's more decent, right? What's more graceful and considerate is to just say, that does look nice, but I'm going the other way.
Right.
Or not say nothing at all. Just don't even acknowledge it. How many people are really who they say they are versus what they think you just want
Right.
to hear?
And the thing is, right, and this I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna give everybody their closing chance to get their closing statement. I feel like it's okay. I feel like once an individual does the work, right, when they do the work on self, when they really know themselves truly and authentically, right, it'll never get to the point where any level of disrespect like that ever happens, right? Because they know themselves, they know that they don't even want to deal with that. So why would they put somebody else through that? You got what I'm saying? So if it's
Right.
that point where both man and woman, or man and man, or woman and woman, however y'all want to do it, I don't judge. As long as they know their authentic self, which is what the whole point of this live was. So I'm glad that you brought it back to that, right? If you know your authentic
Yeah.
self, if you yourself know your authentic self, you'll never indulge in none of the bullshit that he's talking about. Because you'll be
Right.
able to wholeheartedly be you. And when you step into something as a like a union, like a marriage, then you have your core values, you have your understanding of you, who you are as a person, and you know that you won't indulge in the shit like that. And you know for a fact that you'll never put your spouse through that because you know you as a
Right.
person, right? But you also have to make sure that you have to ask the right questions to the person that you are going to spend the rest of your life with, because you have to make sure that they did exactly the same fucking work that you did. You have
Yes,
to make
sir.
sure that did the same work that you did. You can't just be the only one doing the work. You can't. You can't be the only one doing the work.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you guys get your closing statements, and then I will get up out of here. Go ahead, guys. Viable, go first. Viable.
Yeah.
All right, go
Thanks.
ahead, Earl. You could give your closing statement. Go ahead.
Uh,
God, you know what? I'm gonna say this. Listen, it's 2025, right?
Mm,
I'm I'm gonna try to listen more and not judge as much, but I'm still say what needs to be said, right?
absolutely.
I'll just leave
My
it with
bad,
that.
guys.
You're
Let
good.
that
You're
be.
good. You're good. Go ahead, Froggy.
Hold on. What did Earl say? Is Earl talking?
Yeah. Or you want to repeat it?
I find myself engaged in Earl's rhetoric, man. So I didn't want to miss that.
Wait, what the?
He
No,
said he
I
likes your
said I'm
rhetoric,
gonna
man.
listen more, judge less, but I'm still gonna say what needs to be said.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Go ahead, Froggy.
I don't know. I feel like I'm being booted. I mean, I'm sorry. Uh, Here's the thing. Know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, do the work. We have journals coming out in the next couple of months. we
Should be
have
releasing soon. Amazon approved it, so we'll start working on that.
we have books that are out. We have platforms that are built to help you learn who you are. There's a whole community for it. Trust me, it is. And it's spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, the whole nine. Yes, we do have a little bit of joking around, those of us that are close, because I mean, I do love Earl and I do support his platform. I don't hang out in there, but I support it. Um, it's for personal safety only, y'all. It's not Earl, it's the people that get in his boxes. Uh, but we have to know and choose. When you go to choose and love, choose yourself. Choose to love you every day. Forgive them, forgive yourself, but choose to love you because that's where you're going to start learning who you are. Because when you learn to love you some you, hey,
It's a
you
beautiful thing.
start learning the light. You start learning what you will and will not do and what your core values are, which means when somebody comes up and asks you those questions that monumental like to ask and I like to kick him in the shins for, you have an answer because you know exactly who you are. So that's that. And the other thing is, next time I see all you people in here, tap the Fraggle Rock and scream. I mean, thank you.
Love you, Froggy. Go ahead, Viable, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. I guess I just want to stick with what I've been saying today.
Okay.
Uh, but I want to let everybody know something first. Like your thought process matters, right? How you choose to engage people matters. What you think about matters. What you watch on TV matters. You know what doesn't matter? What other people say, think, and feel. That stuff is none of your business. You know, it's really not. So when you encounter people, have that kind of grace and consideration at the forefront of your thinking, and I bet you'll find it harder to engage people in a negative way because you can easily come back to yourself and remember at times when you were excited or passionate about something and you spoke horribly through those sensations, and then it'll remind you that we are all just human at the end of the day. So you can engage a person in a way that then lets you know, without you feeling simple, for lack of a better term, maybe, right?
Right.
Or feeling soft about what you just did. It's not about that. You know, don't we want betterment or do we not?
Yeah.
You know, so if you do, be about the betterment. Don't engage in negativity bias. Don't engage in the kind of sensations that make you feel horrible about people. You know, come from a graceful place. Come from a considerate place when you engage people. And I bet money, you know,
Right.
people will look at you different and then they'll start looking at themselves different. And then you will find the empowerment working where then people you have touched in that way will now see a reason because a lot of times the reason people don't act right is because they don't see a real reason to do so.
Right.
They see other people getting away seemingly, you know, with poor behavior. There's other people out here, you know, being violent or abusive or using violent or abusive language and seemingly getting away with it, right? I have to use a seemingly word because a lot of times you
Right.
just never get away with
I
being
got you.
that
I
kind of
got you. I
person.
got you.
You know, but it does seem that way sometimes. And as long as we can get past, what we think is, remove ourselves from subjectivity, become more objective in our stances, more objective in our rhetoric,
What's
and
up,
how we
Face?
choose people. I feel like we then can be in a place where more people, because people do want to be good. You just have to give them a reason if they're not.
Yeah.
You know, give them a reason to be good. Show them people are good. Show them people can be good through adversity. Because a lot of times the adversity changes a person to feel like, well, why am I doing this for good reasons when I saw so and so cut a corner and he made it? So just don't worry about what other people saying.
It
Don't worry about
has,
what they
Face. It
think
has.
on
Thank
all
you.
that, and then,
Oh,
then
yours
we'll
has
be
been
good to
amazing
go.
too. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Honestly, real quick, guys, because I do have to punch in. Well, I'm already punched in, but you know how that goes. Working from home life, gotta love it. I want everybody to be as intentional about you as you are with everything else in your life. You know what I'm saying? I want you to put yourself first. I want you to realize without being the better version of you, you can't really give everybody you in full capacity. You have to perfect you. You have to acknowledge the fact that you're not living in your authenticity. Learn how to be authentically you so that way you can be the better version for everybody else in your life, whether you have children, whether you're married, whether you're somebody's guardian or caretaker. You have to be the better version of you first before anybody else can see you for who you really are. And just like Viable said, people's opinion on you don't matter. It's none of your business. It's not. In a world full of negativity, make sure y'all choose love and love on purpose. Keep life simple. Love is the glue. Respect is the flavor. You dig, you dig, you dig. Make sure y'all live within your value energy. And I pity the fool who doesn't mind their mental. Peace.